Today in this video, I'm going to teach that how you can master problem solving based on simple interest and compound interest computing and related problems. So for the first formulas set, first the basic formula to calculate simple interest is that simple interest will be the principal multiplied by the rate of interest and multiplied by the time divided by 100. Here the rate of interest would be per annum and the time would be in years. Similarly, in compounded interest, it would be the amount of interest, the amount of compounded interest. Unlike the simple interest, it would be the amount of compounded interest. That means that it is the total amount. Like if the principal is 100 rupees and the compounded interest is 10 rupees, it will calculate this amount. So the amount of compound interest is P multiplied by 1 plus r, which is rate of interest, divided by 100 to the power n. The exponential will be n. N is the number of years. If there is one n, it will be 1. Nothing need to be written, or it is like we can ignore that. But if it is 2, it will be square or cube, or it could be 10, 15 based on the number of years we need to calculate the compounding. Compounding. But when the interest is compounded semi-annually, like if you know, even in reality, many savings accounts and fixed deposits give compounding in a quarterly basis or even monthly basis. So when we are asked to calculate calculate compounded interest semi-annually, quarterly or monthly, what we do, we write the same formula, but in case of semi-annually, we divide the r and the n. We divide the r by 2 and multiply the n with 2n, because r and n is accounts for 1 year, right? When the value of n is 1, right? But when the value of n and r is 1, it is calculated per annum. But if it is calculated per 6 months, the value of rate of interest would be divided by half, because if an fixed deposit is giving an interest of 6% per annum, it will give 3% per 6 months. It is logical. And same the number of years, if there are 12 months in a year, there will be 2 6 months in a year, so it would be 2n. Similarly, if we calculate this quarterly, there are 4 quarters in a year, so there is 4n, and the rate of interest would be divided by 4. Same monthly, it would be r by 12 and 12n. Because there are 12 months in a year, so the n represent 1 year. The value of n would be 1 year. So if they ask us to calculate the compounded interest monthly, we will need to multiply the value of n with 12 and divide the rate of interest by 12, because they give us the rate of interest in per annum basis, right? So similarly, if you get the gist, if they ask us to calculate if we need to calculate a weekly, like they calculate the compounded interest for 2 years and 4 weeks or 2 weeks, we can do it how, like it would be r by 52 and 52n, right? And for the daily basis, it would be 365n. Now effective rate of interest. Now let's say that a person A is doing a simple interest fixed deposit, or taking a simple interest loan from XYZ bank, and person B is taking from YZF bank, right? So a person A is taking loan at 7.3% simple interest, and the person B is taking 7.25% at rate of interest, but with a compounded interest of semi-annually. So what would be the effective rate of interest for you to effectively calculate that in case B, where the person B is taking loan at 7.25, where person is taking at 7.3, for example, then who is in benefit? Even though when the person B is taking the loan at 0.05% less interest rate, because it will be compounded semi-annually, you need to calculate the effective rate of interest for that loan. So how will you do that? It would be 1 plus rate of interest divided by n, where n is the number of months, right? N is the number of months divided by 12. It is not actually divided by 12, it would be 12 by the number of months. So if it is 1, then it would be 100 only. But if it is like like they are giving semi-annually, in case of semi-annually, it would be 6. It would be n equals to 12 by 6, which is 2, as we calculated here, right? So same calculation will follow here. It would be 2n. So if the semi-annual, if they have given 2 years and it is calculated semi-annually. So in 1 year it would be 2n. So in 4 years it would be 4n. So we will write 4 into 100 to the power 4 minus 1. We will also discuss that when we discuss the formula when we solve problems. Then we have the reverse and derived formulas. So if we are given simple interest and we need to find principal, we can write like principal equals to simple interest times 100 divided by rate of interest times time. Or we can for the in case of compounded interest, we can write that the principal equals to compounded interest divided by 1 plus r by 100 to the power n. For the if we need to find rate, we will say simple interest by 1 times 100 divided by principal times time. And for the time, we will say simple interest times 100 divided by principal into rate of interest. Now in case that they say that in the simple interest on x 5000 and the compounded interest on 5000 is so and so, the rate of interest is so and so, but the simple interest and compounded interest both are on same amount, right? So what we will do, we will calculate that the compounded interest subtracted by simple interest equals to p times r by 100 square. But you need to note that it is for 2 years, right? For 3 years it would be this formula, for 2 years it would be this formula. So it comes to, if we need to find the principal will be the difference between the compound interest and simple interest, which they might give, or we can calculate if they have given this simple interest and compound interest. We will the difference we will multiply with 100 square and divided by the rate of interest square, the square of the rate of interest, or this is the formula. And for 3 years it would be difference equals to principal times r square, then 3 plus r by 100, and the entire thing will divide by 10,000, right, which is basically 100 square, which we wrote also there. Now from below we will write some interesting things that is really useful in exams, such as if the simple interest for t years equals to the compound interest for t minus 1 years, we can write that compound interest for t minus 1 years is simple interest of t years, right? Now the difference in simple interest due to change in time, like they might say in a question that the simple interest is so and so in 5 years, in 4 years, or in change in time, what will happen? Like the simple interest in 2 years is 10%, and the simple interest in 5 years is 20%. For the next 5 years, 20%. Then what will be the effective simple interest, the total amount of simple interest? So how will we calculate that? It would be principal times rate of interest times the T2 minus T1. The T2 could be 4 years or 3 years, and we will subtract that from the T1 that is given. It could be 2 years and 1 year, and it would we would divide that by 100. So we'll get the difference between the time change of the simple interest. And again, another point, an amount becomes 2p times in a y years. So like they can say that an amount becomes 5 times in 3 years. So calculate that in how many years it will become 10 times or so. So what we would do, interest equals to 2, we know that amount equals to principal plus interest. The total amount of we will get after maturity, it would be the total principal plus the interest we will earn, the simple interest we will earn. So the interest is the amount 2p minus principal, so it comes to p. So we can write like that. This is the basic formula for the simple interest, and we will write like p equals to PRT by 100. It is the place we will write where we will write simple interest, but as we said, interest equals to p, we will write p, and p will be cancelled, and we will get RT by 100. So in this we can use this formula to get what is asked in the question. So when we solve the problems, it will be more and more clear. Okay, so the first problem is the find the simple interest on the amount of 8,000 for 3 years at 5% per annum. So we'll use the basic formula for this problem. It is the simple interest equals to principal times rate of interest times the time divided by 100. So here the principal is 8,000, the time is 3 years, and the rate of interest is 5 years. So the simple interest would be the principal 8,000 multiplied by the rate of interest 5 multiplied by the time, which is 3 years, divided by 100. we can cut this 0 with 1 0 with 8000 and another 0 with 1 0 with of the 8000, right? So it comes to 80 times 5 times 3. Now 8 times 5 is 40, we know, so with 0 it would be 400. So 400 times 3 is we can say, like, we can calculate in our mind, like 400 times 3 we need to calculate. Let's assume what is 4 times 3, it is 120. We'll just put 2 zeros, so 1200. So it's just some mind tricks to calculate these multiplications faster. So the simple interest on 8000 for 3 years is 5%. Even if you manually calculate 80 times 15, 5 times 3 is 15, then 500, 5 times 8 is 400, then 8000, 8 plus 4 is 1200. Next question is, what is the simple interest on 15,000 for 4 years at 8% per annum? Similar problem. So we'll write simple interest equals to the capital 15,000, so principal 15,000, multiplied by the rate of interest of 10 multiplied by 8. Okay, the rate of interest is 8 and the number of years is 4. 15,000 times 8 times 4 divided by 100. We'll cut 2 zeros with these 2 zeros. It comes to 150 times 8 times 4, right? So it will be 150 times 8 times 4. Let's calculate 150 times 32. 8 times 4 is 32. So it's 300 times it would be 450. So 0 0, 5 plus 3 8, then 4, it is 4800, right? Now coming to the next problem, it is the first problem on compound interest, right? Find the compound interest on 8000 for 2 years at 10% per annum compounded annually. So we don't need to calculate it semi-annually or quarterly or something. It's just simple. So we'll do the basic formula of this as we discussed earlier, that the basic formula for compounding, which is amount equals to principal times 1 plus r by 100 into to the power n. The exponential is n. So what we can do here, we'll write the simple formula, which is amount equals to principal times 1 plus rate of interest by 100 to the power n. Now here 8000 is the principal, 2 years is n, 10% is the rate of interest. We got everything what we need. Find the compound interest. The compound interest is this only, right? So it is 8000 1 plus 10 by 100 to the power 2 square, right? So 8000 times, we can cut 1 0 and we'll write 10 times 1 plus 1, 11 times 10 into 11 plus by 10. We can also do it in another way, like 10 by 100, which comes to 0.1. 1 by 10 is 0.1. We can also write like 1 plus 0.1 equals to 1.1 whole square and multiply that with 8000. But we can do also this way. We cut 1 0 with 1 0, 1 0 with 1 0. It comes to 80 times 11 times 11. So it comes to 80 times 11 times 11. So it comes to around, let's do 80 times 11. It is 80 times 08 880. So we'll do 880 times 11. It is 880 088 0888 16 9680. So the 9680, but if you note, it is the total amount, like as we discussed in our formulas last time, the compound interest of this formula is the total amount, that is, it is the principal plus interest. So the compound interest alone is the amount that we got from here, subtracted by the principal amount, right? So what we got here, we got the amount of A, right? So what is asked here? Here we are asked that to find the compound interest. It is not the compound interest. It is the amount after 2 years we will have on the principal of 8,000. So if we need to get the compound interest, what we will do? We'll do CI equals to amount of 9680 subtracted by the principal, which is 8,000. So what is the compound interest we will earn? It is 1680, right? Because what we calculated is just the total amount we will have after 2 years, not the compound interest directly. Now coming to the next question. Now here we are asked that what will 15,000 amount to 2 years at 8% rate of interest in compound interest, right? It is the principal, it is the time, it is the rate of interest. So we will write, they are directly asking what will this amount be in 2 years. So they are asking directly for the A amount part. They are not asking for the how much interest it would be. So we'll just write A equals to P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power N, which is we'll directly write 15,000 times 1 plus 8 by 100 square. We can cut it 450, then again we'll cut by 4, it's 225. So we can write like that 15,000 times 25 into 1 plus 2, 27 times 20 plus divided by 25 times 27 divided by 25. Because there is a square, we wrote 2 times. Now if we cut 20 with 25, so 1500, it would be 5. We are dividing this with 5, so it would be 300. We again cut, it would be 60. Let's do it again. It's 15,000. Okay, just add 0. I just missed 1 0, so it would be 600. So we again cut 5 with 600. It will come to, okay, let's redo it to avoid complication. We have 25, we have 15,000. We cut with 5 both sides. We get 3,000. We get 5. We cut 5 with 3,000. We get 600. We cut 6,000 with 5 with both sides. We get 5 here, and we get 600 with the. If we divide 600 with 5, we get around 60, which is 120. We again cut 120 with 5. We get around 24. Right. So now we will calculate 24 into 27 into 27. So in my YouTube channel as well, I showed a trick where you can find any number square that ends with 7. So we can fastly calculate the square of 27, which would be step number 1, 7 square 49. Step number 2, 2 into 4 plus 4, which is 12. Step number 3, 2 into the succession of 2, it is 2 into 3, which comes to 6. So it will carry forward. So it would be 7 to 9. So now we need to calculate the multiplication of 24 into 729. So let's write 7 to 9 multiplied by 24. So 4 times 9 is 36. We'll write 6. We'll carry forward 3. 4 times 2 is 8. We'll add 3 with that, which comes to 11. We'll write 1 and carry forward 1. 4 times 7, 7 4s are 28. 28 plus 1 is 29. We'll write 29. After that, 2 times 9 is 8. 18, we'll write 8 and we'll carry forward the 8. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. Then 2 times 7 is 14. We'll write 14 here. Now 6, 8 times 1 is 9. 5 plus 8 is 14. We'll carry forward 1. So 4 plus 2 is 6, and we'll carry forward 1. It will be 7 and it will be 1. So it comes to 17,496. So it is 17,496. It is the amount we will have after 2 years if we invest 15,000, that is compounded every year at the rate of 8% per annum. Now coming to the next question, it is that the simple interest on a certain sum, the principal is not given. The simple interest on a certain sum, they have said, for 2 years is 10% per annum and is 400. Find the principal. Now we need to find the principal. The principal is not given, but this simple interest is given. We know the formula of basic simple interest is simple interest times PRT divided by 100. Now principal is not given, we need to find that, but we have the simple interest, which is 400. So we can write like the simple interest which is given, that the simple interest of certain sum is per annum is 400. So 400 is given, we'll write that times the rate times P times the rate of interest, which is 10 times 2, right, because it is for 2 years. Now divided by 100, it would be multiplied if it goes to this side. So we'll cut this with the above one, this, it comes to 2p. 2p equals to 4000, right? So p into 2 is 2p, and it will go to this side. So 400 times 10 equals to 4000. So p is 2000, right? Very simple. Now coming to the next batch of questions. Now coming to this problem, it says that at what rate of percent per annum will 6000 amount to 7200 in 4 years? So the initial capital is P is 6000, whereas the total amount after 4 years is 7200, and the time is 4 years. So they are asking for at what rate of percent. They are asking to find the R. Now if you notice, the 7200 is the total amount. It says that 6000 amount to 7200. That is, it means that it is the amount of P plus SI. That means the principal plus the simple interest is 7200. So if P plus SI is 7200, and we already have the value of P is 6000, then SI is 1200. Just one step direct, 7200 minus 6000, it's 1200. So after that we will use the similar formula like previous, or same formula like previous one, and it would be simple interest equals to principal times rate of interest times time by 100. Here the simple interest is 1200, because we only earn 1200 interest in 4 years. So we'll write 1200 100, and principal is 6000 times rate of interest R, which we need to find, and the time is 4 years. We'll cut this 2 zeros with these 2 zeros. We have 60. We can, because it will come, okay, let's just go with this, it will have more clarity. So 60 times 4 is 240. R is 1200, right? 0 0 cut, 24 120. We can do 24 as a multiple of 6. It would be 4R, and it would come to 20. So it is R equals to 5, because 4, if we cut, it is 5. So the rate of interest would be 5%, correct? Here the trick part was only that to understand the problem, that at what rate percent per annum will 6000 amount to 7200, because the 7200 we will not write in the place of simple interest, we will not write 7200, we'll write 1200, because the simple interest on that 4-year period, what is the simple interest we earn? We only earn the interest of 1200 bucks or 1200 rupees. So it will only be 1200 here, not 7200. Now it's an extra problem. This is a problem I picked up from Doubtnet. I also saw that they had made a mistake. They solved the problem using the simple interest formula. So their calculation and procedure were also wrong, but let's try to solve it ourselves. A person invests rupees 10,000 for 2 years at a certain rate of interest compounded annually. At the end of 1 year, the sum amounts to 11,200. Calculate the rate of interest like previous one only. Just it is compounded. It's a compounded interest. So let's understand first. So the principal is 10,000. The time is 2 years, but they're asking that after 1 year the amount is 11,200 rupees, right? So what is the rate of interest that we are getting? So first let's do the previous one as well, that in 1 year how much compound interest does he earn? like in 1 year he earned interest of 1200. The CI is 11,200 minus 10,000, which is the capital, which is 1,200, right? Now they are saying that a person invests rupees 10,000, so we don't need to find the compound interest for 2 years. We just need to find the compound interest for 1 year, where we also have the compound interest with us. So we didn't even need to find that. So let's use the formula. So amount is 1 plus r by 100 to the power 1, because we are only finding the 1 year. The reason for we are finding the interest for 1 year, because at the end of 1 year the sum amount is 11,200. So we have the sum amount for after 1 year, the 10,000 becomes 11,200, right? So we can calculate this like we have the A amount, which is 11,200. We have the there will be principal, so there we have the principal amount of 10,000 multiplied by 1 plus r by 100. So it comes to 11,200 divided by 10,000. It comes to 100 plus r by 100 times 100 plus r by 100, right? So if we divide 11,200 by 10,000, we get 1.12. So it's a basic big calculation. 11,200, if we divide by 12, we can cut 2 zeros, and it would be 112 by 100. We get 1.12. It's same only. So because there is no square, we are only calculating for 1 year, because after 1 year we had 11,200. Despite they said that it is calculating for 2 years, but we don't need that, because they did not ask that after 2 years how much money you will have, right? They asked for what is the rate of interest that it is in which it is compounding, right? So after 1 year, if we have 11,200, we can calculate like that after we put the formula for 1 year only, and we have 11,200. So it is 1.12, and it is 100 plus r by 100, right? So it is 100 multiplied with this 100 plus r, and will not plus it because we don't need, know the value of r. We need to find that. So if we put the calculation to this side like that, we'll multiply 100 with 1.12, so it comes to 112, 100 plus r. So r is 112 minus 100. So r comes to 12. So the rate of interest is 12%. R is 12%. Got it? Now next problem. They say as sum triples in 10 years at simple interest, what is the rate? So as sum that triples in 10 years, what is the rate of interest? Now if you see this part, I saw that if its amount becomes 2p times in y years, amount of the amount is the principal plus interest, which we also used in earlier problem solvings. So the interest will be the principal total amount minus the principal amount, which comes to p, right? So in formula we'll write then p that in that way it will cancel and we'll get the rate of interest. So we'll use the same formula only. So as sum triples in 10 years, so 3p minus p is 2p. So simple interest is principal times rate of interest times time by 100. We'll write in place of simple interest this 2p equals to p times rate of interest, which we need to find. That time we have is 10 years divided by 100. This 0 will be cut. We cut this p with this p. So 10 times 2. So r is 20%. So this 10 goes to this, it is 20 and r is 20%. I can write another step like it would be r equals to 20 only, because this will multiply with this part, and r is there only because 10 is 10 the 0 of 10 we cut with this 0 of 100, so there is nothing to multiply with r, so r alone is equals to this multiplication 10 times 20, so r is 20%. Coming to next problem, as sum becomes 2.5 times, it becomes 2.5 times in 20 years. So at simple interest, what is the rate? So we'll use the same formula. So 2.5 we are given, don't care about the years, 2.5 will subtract the principal amount which is p, 2.5p minus p equals to 1.5p. We'll use the same formula that we'll put it even directly, because in exam we need to do it fast, right? So 1.5p equals to p into rate of interest which we need to find, and the time is 20, divided by 100. We cut 1 0 with 1 0, it's a 2p, sorry, pp will be cancelled, it's 2r. So 2r equals to 10 times 1.5, it is 15, so r is 7.5%. So coming up next, it says that what principal will amount to 13,300. So we got that we need to find the principal amount to 13,300 310 in 3 years at 10% per annum. It is the rate of interest in compound interest. It is the amount we will have after 3 years, the total amount. So as it's in compound interest, we can write directly the amount. We have the amount, it is a only. If it was simple interest, it would have been this a, but it is in compound interest, so it would be a only. A equals to p times 1 plus r by 100 to the power n. So here n is 3, and we need to find the principal, this one. So if we put in the values, it is 13,310 equals to p times 1 plus rate of interest which is 10 by 100 to the power 3. Okay, so if we solve that, we can do like other ways as well, but if we solve this way, 13,310 equals to p, we can write 1 by 10 equals to 0.1, 1 plus 0.1. I'm doing it directly. 1 by 10 is 0.1, right? We have this 1 plus, so if we add 1 with that, it is 1.1, so 1.1 cube. So p into 1.1 cube. What is 1.1 cube? Let's calculate. So I'll write 11 and we'll square it, right? I wrote 11, I did not 1.1. We'll add full stop after that. So it's just a smart way to calculate the cube and square of that. It's 11 times 11, it is 1 to 1. We'll again square it, then we get 1 to 1 times 1 to 1, it is 1 3 2 plus 1 3 1, 1.331. So 1.331 p equals to 13310. It is deadly. It is very easy right now. So if you see p equals to 13310 divided by 1.331, so p is 10,000, right? So it will be 1 2 3 4. It would be 4 full stops, so it will be after 1 we will add 4 zeros, 1 2 3 4. So the principal amount is 10,000 rupees, and at a rate of 10% per annum compounded annually after 3 years, we will have 13,310 rupees, right? So that is how we calculate it. And coming up next is that at what rate, so we need to find the rate at first reading, at what rate with 4,000 amount to 4840. 4,000 is principal, it is the amount that we get at compound interest. So it is a, it is time, and we need to find the r. So 4840 equals to 4,000 times 1 plus r by 100 to the power 2. So we can write like 4840 by 4,000 equals to 100 plus r by 100 times 100 plus r by 100, right? Because it's square, I wrote 2 times. So how it becomes 1 point, it would be 10, we can cut, it's 484 by 400, it comes to 80, so 4800 is 1.2, because it is a 484, it would be 1.21. Right, if you didn't got how I calculated, so the 10 first it goes to 1 time, so we'll write 1, and the 10% of 400 is 40, so it goes 2 times, so 80, 480, 2, and then it goes to 1 times 4, which is 1, 0.01, not even 10%, 1%, so I wrote 1.21 equals to 1000, it is 4 zeros, and it would be 100 like that, 100 plus r times 100 plus r, it comes to 1.21 times 10,000, it would be 12,100 equals to 10,000, because 100 times 100 is 10,000 plus 100 r plus r into 100 r plus r square, right? So it is if we go move this to this side, 200 r plus r square equals to plus 10,000 minus 12,100 equals to 0. So we move this to this side to a free space, so we will write r square plus 200r plus this 10,000 minus 12,100 is 2,100 equals to 0. If we just solve this equation, we get r square plus we can write in that way, that 210 minus 10 r equals plus 2,100 equals to 0. Let me check 12,100. I think it is 10,000 is there only, and it is in plus side, it will go to this side, it will be minus, so it would be minus 2,100 here, again minus, so it comes to r square plus 210 r minus 10 r minus 2,100 equals to 0. So if we take r common, r plus 210 minus 10 common, r plus 210, so it comes to r plus 200 r plus 210 and r minus 10. Now obviously the rate of interest cannot be negative. If you like r plus 210, so hence r will be negative 210. As you can see, the amount is increased from 4,000 to 440, so the interest rate could not be negative, so r would be 10%, where r minus 10 is equals to 0, so r equals to 10. So here the rate of interest would be 10%, r is 10%. Okay, now going to the next problem, it is that in how many years will 5,000 amount to 6,500 at 6% per annum? We have the principal, we have the amount that it will be. Okay, we have the principal, we have the total amount it will be after how many years. So we need to find the time, we have the rate of interest, and we have the simple it is in simple interest. So the amount is 6,500 minus 5,000, so the total amount minus principal is 5,000 minus 6,500 minus 5,000, it comes to 1,500. So the simple interest is 1,500. Now the rate of interest is 6%. We need to find the time. So the simple interest SI equals to PRT by 100. We need to find the T. So simple interest is 1,500. The principal is 6,500 multiplied by the rate of interest of 6%. We need to find the time divided by 100. 10101010 cut. So it comes to 65 times 6 divided by 1500. Right, so let's calculate that. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. It would be 5,000, 1010 cut, because the principal is 5,000 only, so it would be 50 times 6, so it would be 300 t equals to 1500, 1010 cut, so it is 30. We can also cut this, so our t becomes 5 years, right? So it's very simple for the simple interest thing. We just put it into formulas. Now for the compound interest, it's a similar question that in what time we need to find that we need to find the time. The principal of 6000 will be 7986, amount at 15% per annum, which is the rate of interest. So we can write like 7986 equals to principal 6000 plus 1 plus, I hope I can write it directly. As of now it should be like clear after so many problems. 1 plus rate of interest, it is 15 by 100. We need to find this n. We need to find this. It's 7986 divided by 6000. It is 1 plus 15 by 100 is 0.15. It is going to be 1.15 to the power n. Now 6000, it will go 1 times. After that, if we calculate the 10% of 600, it is 6000, it is 600. So it will go 1 times, 2 times. In 2 times it would be 7200. In 3 times it would be 7800. So it will go 3 times. Then it is 1986. So it will go 3 times again. 1986 is that 1% is 600. So it will go 1.331. You can also manually divide and get this number. After that we have 1.15 to the power n. Because it is to the power n, I will try that if it comes to any power. So if I can write like that 1.15 to the power 1.15 square or 1.15 to the power 3 like that, I might be able to cancel these powers and get the value of n very easily. So let's try to calculate 1.15. We'll just forget the full stop for this point. 5 5 is 0. We'll carry forward 3. 5 plus 3, 8 and 5. Cross 5, 1, 1, 1, 1, 5. 0, 8 plus 5 is 13. We'll write 3. We'll carry forward 1. 5, 5, 10, 11, 12. We'll carry forward 1, 2, 3. 1.323. 1.323. It is close enough, right? So we can write the square 1.15 square. It is close enough. 1.323 and 1.331. 323, it is 331. It is close enough. So we can write like approximately it would be a bit higher than 2 years. But yes, we get the gist. In exam, it is you will get the answer of 2 years only, or a bit like higher than 2 years, like 2.05 years or 2.04 years. So we can cancel 1.15. So n is going to be 2. But in exam, we can also use some smart tricks where you can calculate this very faster. Like we have the rate of interest, right? So after first year, let's like calculate a first year. They are saying that we don't have the time. In how many years the 6000 will be 7986. So after first year, the 15% of 6000 is the 15%. What will be the 15% of 6000 in compounded interest? It would be 10% is 600, right? The 5% 600, the 5% would be 300. It's 900, so it would be 6900. If you didn't get this point, like 15,000, like the 6,000's 10% is 600, and the 5%, so if the 10% is 600, the 5% would be half of that, which is 300, so it would be 900. We'll add that with the principal 6,000, which comes to 6,900. So after first year, it is 6,900 at 15% per annum. So it is still far than this. So in second year, the 6,900 times 15%, we'll calculate the 15% on that. So at the end of 16 year, we get 15% of that would be 690 plus half of that, which is 690 by 2. 3, which comes to then 9, it comes to 8, 4 and 0 and 105, 345. So if we plus it, it comes to 5. 9 plus 3, we'll carry forward 1, it is 10. right? It would be 1035. So it would be 7945. So if we go, we've already found that, you can see that 7945 is very close to 7986, so it is 2 years only. It would be a bit higher than 2 years, but if you go to third year, it would be 7945 times 15%, which would be much higher. It would be around 794.5 plus 5% of that. We are 5% of that, which would be 3 will carry forward 1, 19 would be 8 will carry forward 1, it would be 14, 387, it would be something of 7 plus 4 is 11, will carry 1, 10, 18 will carry 1, so 4, so it would be 11, 1181. We'll calculate will plus 1181 with this amount, which comes to 7945 1181. It's 6, 8 plus 4 is 12, will carry 1, it would be 10, 11 will carry 1, it would be 9126, approximately 9126 after third year, 9126. But you can see that 9126 is too far from 7986, so we get the idea that it would be most probably 7945, which is the second year. So in exam, rather than doing these all things, you can just directly do that. After first year, the interest of the first year, the total amount which is the principal plus interest is 76900, and after that, if we calculate 15% on this amount, it is 7945. So most probably the answer will be 2 year only, right? Now coming to the next question, it is they have asked that what amount will 12,000 become in 5 years at 7% per annum at simple interest? Very easy. We have the principal, we have the time, we have the rate of interest. So it will be basically 12,000 times 5 times 7 divided by 100. We'll cut 2 zeros. It is 120 times 5 times 7. So 5 times 7 we know is 35. So it would be 120 times 35. Right. So let's calculate this. Five zero zero 10 6 300 6 will carry 1. It comes to around let me see, 12,000 times 5 years times 7 years divided by 100. 12,000 okay, 20 will be cut. It's 120 times 5 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35. We'll multiply 500. 10 will carry forward 1, 5, 6, then 300. 3 is a 6, 3 is a 3. So 0, 0, 6 is 12, 4,200. So the simple interest would be 4,200. So what the amount will become? So they have asked that what the amount will 12,000 become. So it is the simple interest only. It is the simple interest only. The total amount after 5 years, it will become the simple interest plus the principal amount, which is 12,000 plus 4,200, which will become to 16,200. Now there is another next problem is on variable rate problem. They've asked that find the simple interest on 10,000 for the 4 years if the rate is 5% for the first 2 years and the 8% for the next 2 years. Right? How can we do that? We will do it like the 10,000 for the 10,000 for 4 years if the rate is 5%. So let's do that. We know the formula. Simple interest is principal is 10,000 times 4 years at 5% interest divided by 100. We'll cut both zeros. It's 100 times 4 times 5. Now 4 times 5 we know is 20. So 20 it would be 20 times 100, which is 20 followed by 2 zeros. It is 2,000. In the next 2 years they are using the interest is 8%, right? So it would be SI equals to 10,000 and 1 2 3 times the rate of time would be okay, I did made a mistake. It would be 2. for the 4 year, okay, for the 4 years, if the rate of interest for the first 2 years, right, so it would be 2, then it would be 10 only, so it would be 1000 rupees. If you didn't get it, like find the simple interest for total number of years is 4. For the first 2 years they have is 5, right? So in the when you are I'm calculating for the first 2 years, first 2 years it would be calculated, the time would be 2 years only, and for the next 2 years it would be 8 by 100. So if we calculate like that right now, so 5 times 2 is 10, 10 times 100 is 1000, 1000. So we'll both again cut zeros. It is 100 times 2, 200 times 8, or 2 times 8 is 16, 16 times 100 is 1600, right? So find the simple interest on 10,000 for 4 years if the amount is that. So in this case, what would be the simple interest? Find the simple interest on 10,000 for 4 years if the rate is so the total, we will just plus it out, the total simple interest, simple interest is 1000 plus 1600, it would be 2600. The total simple interest would be 2600. It is not the it is the simple interest for the first 2 years at 5% per annum, and it is the simple interest for the next 2 years after at 8% per annum. If it were compounding interest, then what would we have done? Then we would have taken the 1000 added with the capital of 10,000, which would have been 11,000, and then the principal here would have been 11,000, right? But it is a simple interest, so we don't need to do that. The principal will remain same even after the next 2 years. Okay, so coming to the next problem, it is that the difference between the simple interest and compound interest on 5,000 for 2 years is 20. Find the rate of interest. Now in the formulas we have shown that the simple interest and compound interest on the same amount, what is the formula? It's a P, the difference equals to principal times r by 100 whole square, or the principal is the difference into 100 square by r square. Now we need to find the r square, right? Because it is in 2 years. So the difference between SI and CI on 5,000 for 2 years is 20. So the difference we have, we'll write first the formula that the difference equals to principal times r by 100 whole square, just like this only. The difference would be principal times r by 100 whole square, right? It is also for the 2 years settings. The difference equals to P into r by 100 whole square. We need to find this r. Now the difference is 20, the principal is 5,000, and we and it is r by 100 whole square. So we will multiply what we will do right now, it will be r square by 100 square. 100 square is 10,000, so we can write like 5,000 r square, because it will multiply with this one, divided by 100 square, which is 10,000. So it would be 5,000 1 2 3 r square equals to 20 followed by 4 zeros, 1 2 3 4. We'll cut 3 0. So it comes to r square equals to, we'll cut 5 with 200, which comes to 20 for 100, 40. So here r square comes to 40, or r would be root 40. So the root 40, if we calculate of root 40, it comes to around approximately 6.32, because 6 square is 36, 7 square is 49, so it would be in middle of that 40, right? So if we calculate 10% of 6, it is 0.6. Then if we add that, how much it becomes? So after 3 times it becomes 2.4, So if we calculate 6.3 and we multiply that over and over, if we calculate 6.3 square, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 6 is 18, multiplied by 6 times 3 is 18, we carry forward 1, 6 times 6 is 36, it would be 37. Let me do it in a clear way. 632, 632, 220, 266, so 12. 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 6 is 18, 6 times 6 is 6, 6 times 3 is 18, will carry 1, and 6 times 6 is 37. Now if 0, 6 is 2, will carry 1, 10 plus 6, 16, 18, will carry 1, it is 2, 10, 8, will carry 1, 2, 9. So approximately 39.8820. It is very close enough, so we can do 6.32, right? And the next problem is that so that is how we do. Let me just repeat it. We will write the difference equals to P into R by 100 whole square. So here the difference is 20. So we just and the capital was 5,000. So we multiplied 5,000 with the R square, and 100 square is 10,000. So we took this to this side. We multiplied this with the 20. It came to 200,000. Divided by 5,000, it comes to 40. R square is 40, then R equals to root 40, it comes to 6.32. In exam they could give a number where you will get the exact rate, like a whole number in a rate of interest. It could be 4, 5 or something like that. So coming to next question, Kiran lent 4,000 to two persons such that one part of it at the rate of 8% per annum and the remaining part at the rate of 10% per annum. He got an annual simple interest of 352. Then the sum lent at 10% is how much? So this question came to the recent SSC exam, SSC CGL 2024, not 14, 2024, in the tier 1 set. So what they're asking is that Kiran lent 4,000 to 2%, 4,000 to 2%, one at 8% per annum, one at 10% per annum, right? And she combined got an interest of 352 simple interest. So how much she lent at 10% per annum? Let's calculate this. How will you do that? The principal is 4,000 and the rate of interest, we have two rate of interest. One is 8% and one is 12%. We know that the both rate of interest, if we combine simple interest rate of interest, if we simple interest, if we combine, it is going to be 352. So what we need to do, we need to find the total amount that is lent at 10% per annum. So let's assume let amount lent at 10% be X. So amount lent at 8% would be 4,000 minus X. Now why it would be 4,000 minus X and it would be just X? The reason being, after you lent the money, let's say that out of them 2,000 is lent at 10% per annum. So the remaining amount that would be lent at 8% per annum would be 2,000, but it would be 4,000 minus 2,000, right? Because the 2,000 is already lent at 10% per annum. So we will subtract the X, the value of X, which is the money lent at X. The money is lent at 10%. The total amount is 4,000, and out of which 10% amount is already lent at value of X. So when we'll we'll calculate the 8% value, it would be 4,000 minus X, because it is only given to 2 persons only, right? 2 persons. So if we, based on that, if we calculate, it would be the amount of principal, right? We are using it as a principal. So it would be principal times the rate of interest, which is 10, times time, which is 1 year, divided by 100, plus 4. Okay, it would be not P, it would be X, because we said P. It would be 4,000 minus X times 8 times 1 by 100 equals to 352, this amount. The reason again it is 4000 minus x, because money is lent in two parts, 8% and 10%. After the money is lent at 10%, the remaining money, whatever that is, it will be the amount of total 4000 minus the amount lent at 10%. If the amount that is lent, for example, again is like, let's say that at 10% it is lent 1600, so the money left at 8% would be for the total capital 4000 minus 1600, which is around 2400. Now if we just solve this, it comes 10x, or we can just say x by 10, because we can cut 0 and it would be 8 times 4000 minus x divided by 100 equals to 352. Right, let's keep it 10x only. We can write 100, so we can take common of 100, so it would be 10x plus 8 times 4000 minus x equals to 352. We can again write like 10x plus 8 times 4 is 32,000, 123 minus 8x equals to 35220. This 20 will go to this side because it will be multiplied by 100. Now if we 10x minus 8x is 2x equals to 3500, 35200 minus 35200 minus 32,000. It comes to around 3200, right? So 2x is 3200, so x is 1600. So what we are just assuming, we just found it. So the money lent at 10% per annum is 1600 rupees. So money lent at 10% is 1600. So this is just basic calculation solving, and we got 1600, right? The 3200 went to this side, so 35,200 minus 32,000 equals to 1600. 3,200, and if we divide it by 2, it comes to 1600. The next question is, a bacteria doubles every hour. If the initial if initially there are 100 bacteria, how many will be there in 3 hours? Now if a bacteria doubles every hour, let 1 hour bacteria doubles. In 2 hours it would be 4p, it would be 4x. In 3 hours it would be 8p, right? It is doubling from 2p to 4p, 4p to 8p. In 4 hours it would be 16p, and it will continue. So initially we start with 100 bacteria, so it would be this category. After 3 hours it would be 8 times 100, 800. So how many bacteria will be how many will be there after 3 hours? There will be 800 bacteria. So this is where we'll conclude this video, and after this I'll also solve some problems that are in SSC CGL exams and other government competitive exams and other hard or tricky exams for sample papers that I will make myself.